Namaste and welcome to the sixth episode of FCNCC Presents CEO and Executive Series. We are currently live from CanadaCover.com. And for our guest today, let's welcome Dr. Narayan Ghimire, food and drug scientist from Canada. He is CEO of STI Toronto and technical director of Flavor Can International, Inc. He's interested in healing foods, disruptive innovation, Ved and Vigyan, and has worked in food and drug science for over 25 years. He has been changing people's diet towards a healthier one that may in fact prevent illness. In 1994, Narayan earned a degree in food technology from Athrvaved University, and later he completed his postgraduate work in quality assurance and pharmaceutical science in Toronto, Canada. He is the first Canadian origin with Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt qualification from Villanova University. Welcome to the CEO and Executive, Dr. Narayan Ghimire.
Thank you.
First of all, on behalf of the whole FCNCC team, I would like to congratulate you on completing your PhD recently.
Thank you so much.
We are very proud, and as a Nepali community, because you're also the first in Lean Six Sigma, we are very happy to know about it. So I would like to begin asking on how you would like to introduce yourself as a food and drug scientist.
First of all, thank you for your time and opportunity. When I did my food science, I immigrated to Canada and I realized that I should have some Canadian degree. Then I joined for the pharmaceutical science. Once I completed the pharmaceutical science, I got the opportunity to work with the Ministry of Environment. And while working in the Ministry of Environment, I'm not that much happy with the government job, and I decided to join the private sector. And once I joined the private sector, then I have the opportunity to deal with a lot of the stakeholders, and including the government authorities and a lot of the scientists, and then that make me know that there is something beyond the food, medicine, and spirituality, and then your healing power. Before I came here, I thought I'm the scientist, and now I realized that I'm become the student, and our life is the forever student. And while I'm doing my job, and I have always a new challenge, and then I have to find out that challenge, and to solve those challenges, I thought, why not, if we are reading something and solving the challenge every day, then just put it in the benchmark with the so-called universities, and then just get some degree, and that was the result of my quantum physics, and then after quantum metaphysics, and then the healing food in the Athrvaved. I did the PhD not because I want the PhD. I did the PhD because I want to solve a lot of the scientific and advanced issue in my field in Canada that is mostly the innovation related. And then if you see all this perspective, I'm just the science and seeker of the innovation, and seeker of the innovation beyond the science. That is beyond the ability of the science. Beyond the ability of science is there is your willpower, there is your thinking power, and your consciousness, and then that matter for your health. And what you are doing, food and medicine, also same for the health and for your well-being.
Great. And you started as a student, but now you're a CEO of STI Toronto. You also work as a food technologist there. So what is your role in STI Toronto? Because I know you help transfer technology to Nepal and other countries. So how would you like to elaborate on your work there?
Actually, I work for the Flavor Can International. That is one of the largest flavor house, 100% Canadian and largest flavor house of Canada. And here we work mostly to help all the industries across the globe. For any industry, how big you are, how well placed you are, how well managed you are. Your challenge is, end of the day, you have the judge, and your judge is your customer. And because of if you see the last just a half decade, strong presence of the social media, what happened to the world, then the people know right away, and a lot of good thing coming, a lot of bad thing coming, then that advocate the world that what is good, what is bad, and that changes the market demand. Then what Canada, America, and Mexico, as we are working in this territory very heavily, what we have realized is that how big and solid footprint we are, our product is no more value add if we cannot add the changing market demand. What they are getting is they are not getting the address, their customer, based on their changing scientific know-how and the scientific changing market need to bring their to develop their product and bring to market, and then take the money back from the market, then again man production, and then again go back to the market. But there is one puzzle is missing. What happens is whenever when you do some industry and when you do some research and development, very simple thing that you can fix, industry can fix with their regular R&D wing, research and development wing. But what if something that is a very complex? For example, in the Corona period, the people realize that all of a sudden the way we eat, the way we deal, the way we handle is no more enough to fighting with the simple bug, the simple virus like the COVID. At the same time, we notice turmeric. Those are the ingredients that can really help it to come back, even though it is not the medicinal, but to come back against to build the immune power. Then the industry realized that all of a sudden, when you see their ingredient, this is missing of those immune power building capability, even though they can have it, but they cannot make it overnight. And then the world realized that what happens, there is a separate incubation center, separate idea knowledge incubation center, and separate co-creation center that can do the advanced research and development, so that they can fix and they can build some ingredient that can be their raw material, so that they can be the innovator at their end. Their role is there, and good luckily we were the company exactly doing same thing. We do the custom design flavor ingredient. We develop the custom design micro ingredient. We bring all the herb and the extract and then bring them into the food. And we are not doing that. We are even doing adding the shelf life in the product, and we are adding the healing property into the food. Then what happens is that all the scenario bring our business into the very big scope, and then help us to grow, not only grow, to become the successful. If you are today $1, if you tomorrow the $3, then this is your growth. And if you have the ethical part in it, then it is your progress. If you in the ethical, you have the humanity part integrated, then it is we call the really successful. We are not only the growth, we are not only the progress, we become the successful because we are right fit in that matrices. I work with my president, board of directors, to make sure that our people and our kids understand exactly the demand of the industries and multinational industry who is bringing the innovation into the market. They have understand their specification correctly. I also involved that, okay, if one group understand the correctly, they exactly translate what the need of the individual industry into our quality by design or research and development team. And again, I will the guy who makes sure that our research and development make sure that they are doing exactly what customer asks and to comply with the applicable standard, not only applicable standard, the additional value add, and then our commitment, what we're supposed to do. And then after we develop the product and we went to the industry back and we work with them and we work in their innovative product and we make sure if this work. If it doesn't work, then we come back, then again we adjust or the rule, redevelop new thing, and then make our customer successful. One time I was listening to the Bill Gates. We have asked what you want from us, and he has told us, I don't want anything from you. You just take care of my customer take care of me, then I can take care of you. Exactly that philosophy. I'm the person who involved that philosophy here. And then working with the board of directors and my corporate chairperson. And what we make sense is that we make sense what the industry want. We make sense what is the changing market demand and why my customer is in my desk. Because they are the superstar always. You know that they all the football coach who always get the always win the gold medal, and then ball is still for example Ronaldo, why that they always need the coach. You understand what I mean? Even though they are the best in the player and all the food industry, they are the best in the player, but still they need the coach, they need the R&D innovator around them, very good brain around them so that they can keep their business on and on. That is the role of my company. And I was I was lucky enough that I could lead that innovation lead with and then to help my board of director and my president. And that is what I'm doing. Maybe 11 to 12 years. What I realize is, what I am doing here, it is the great need of the Nepal too, and then Asian country too, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the India too. And then I started to my technology skill transfer one unit. And then that is just for the part-time and then helping the people over there to make the disruptive innovation happen. And that is how the SDI Toronto in my 100% investment came across the board. You know that every country has their own traditional technology, traditional knowledge, and the traditional, and they have own resources. Every country has their own typicality. And we work them to make sure their knowledge, their resources, and they can supply their market by their own development. But one thing is true that only tradition doesn't work. And we have to, unless these people can fuse their traditional knowledge, traditional requirement, and the market need with the advanced knowledge of the science in their perspective, they cannot be succeeded. Then here we are playing the role that to understand their traditional technique, traditional knowledge, traditional know-how, and then their current market need to the advanced science and fuse all of them and to make them the disruptive so that they can be survive in their footpath basing on their economy. Not the like a lot of people, if you see, oh, you know what, I want to make something, I want to export. No, to replace their current purchase. That is how the SDI Toronto come on the floor, and maybe a couple of 5 and 6 years, like maybe 7 or 8 years, we are behind the scene, but it's still active.
Yes, and that's great. And you also mentioned that you work as a technical director of FlavorCan. So how have you been helping the Canadian industry as a whole?
If you see the Bombardier, it looked like very big aeroplane company, right? But actually, Bombardier is just the assemble plant. Let's assume that they have around 3,000 parts. All the 3,000 parts is highly innovative. That is why Bombardier can be the innovative. That is all their 3,000 supplier should provide them the innovative part so that when they assemble that, their product might be the very highly innovative. Exactly, there all the food industry, cosmetic industry, all of the food industry that make the animal feed, all of the industry that do the natural health product, all the medicinal company, medicine, and all of them is the food additive company, color, flavor, taste, you name it. What happened is to be the successful and innovative, to meet the changing market need, they need the ingredient that they need. For example, the Canadian, they want to be all of a sudden to the vegan. Example, they want to be the vegan, but they don't want to compromise the taste that they have been from their birth. We came into the picture, you know what? You can have the vegetarian vegan option that, but still you can have exactly the chicken. You can taste the chicken, you can taste like the mutton, but still you can be the vegan. And then we gave the plant-based option. And exactly like there are so many people, they still want to eat the pizza, cheese pizza, but still the vegan cheese pizza. Then we came across and we figure out, we provide the ingredient, all the plant-based so that you can have the milk plant-based, cheese plant-based, and all the ingredient plant-based so that still you can be the vegan without the any meat or the milk derivative or the any animal derivative in it. And you know what, like the some of the time what happened is we have the very, very big research that, you know, that if you see the journey to the Mars and the moon and even the that is the people is planning, and then the like how to get the big land in the other station other than the earth. Still, we know that we cannot have the agriculture there. So there is a lot of scientists, they are working the making the food from the air. Only based on the agriculture, food could not be survived. Then there is a thin air Solin come with the thin air from the food concept. Then we also came back to, okay, there is some product, but how we can integrate that into the taste, into the flavor, into the color, into the ingredient that can be best fit into the current food in the earth so that we can feed. What we did is, we did them the innovative solution, either ingredient, either building the color, either bringing the taste, either bringing the nut to make their cake not to break, or bringing their specific choice. You know what? I want to this food, but I don't want to this allergen. I want this food, but I don't want to this thing. Or you know what? I want to still have the one juice, but I want to build my immune. Some sort of problem. For example, my kids have something he cannot have the yeast in it, or my kids have something, he needs some supplement or additive in it so that he is struggling with a certain recovery. For those type of the innovation, actually, to be very honest with you, probably we are almost single sole Canadian player in Canada who are doing that job. And not only doing that job, we are very, very well recognized by the government, not only government and all the stakeholders in Canada.
And you mentioned the alternate food that you make. You have applied quality function to like vegetarian meat, that is meatless meat, or vegan cheese, or cannabis-less cannabis. So when you're creating all this custom food for people who can't eat certain type of food, like how is the meat and other food industry facing a disruption because of it?
The question of vegan food came not because we want to the vegan taste, but because there is a shortage of the protein. Because the way the population is growing, never stop growing.
Yeah.
And one time, just a 5 year or 6 year ago, all is rambling what we're gonna do for the protein. And then scientists start to look after okay, if there any way we can make the protein other than animal, because if the way we are eating the protein from taking the protein from the animal, then the number of animal you need to grow, the earth will not be enough. Then where you and I gonna sit?
Yeah.
Right. And we haven't figured out there is another planet that we really can have this much really so nice life.
Yeah.
And then what happened is and we also be the part of the one equation. And then we decided to that some of our friends went to taking the steam shell and then growth that in the laboratory, and that is also been successful, right? And then they figure out that, you know what, to eat the meat now, no, you did not need to kill animal. You can have the factory like you have the biscuit factory or the bread factory all around the world. Even the cheaper in the same cost you are making the biscuit, you can develop in the cost of bread. You should be able to develop the meat, and then now that is almost successful. And then it is only the ethical ground review it in the world. But as a Canadian player, if we develop something like the university way that has we mostly not that much value to us in the practical approach, is that we need some practical. We have to survive. We have to earn the money, and we should be in the market. Then what we do, we take the fake meat. For example, the fake meat is the natural. We take all the natural ingredients. The source is all the five element, and the sunlight. Then what we figure out is that either you are plant or animal, most of the chemical component you are sharing each other. Then what we figure out is that whatever you found in the chicken, you can find in the chickpea too. Actually, chickpea had the more component than the chicken. Then we figure out how we can get the plant-based material that only that ingredient in a very refined way, naturally, so that we can replace the chicken. And then we get the protein is we get the plant source protein. And if you see the protein to protein animal and the plant level, there is no difference in structure. That is the bland white taste, and then nothing in taste that. And then we build the color, we build the taste, and from the natural source. And one, we see the same profile that the chicken has or the mutton has, and the protein that comes from the plant source, then we will be able, without compromising your taste, to develop the meat. And the same thing is possible in the milk too. And then just in case of the milk, probably we need the protein from the pea source, chickpea source, or the other pea source. And here we can use the other source of like the hemp and other source too. This is only different way. And then cannabis came with a different story. What happened was, once upon a time, we realized that there is more than 20,000 research was there on the road. It has been proven that very important out of the 300 highly medicated, one is the THC and CBD. The THC is one of the things that give you some hallucination, and because of the hallucination, it is banned. But now there is a lot of the research and lot of the thing that is current medicinal value doesn't treat it. Cannabis is going to treat it, and we are advocating that time to legalize the cannabis in Canada. That time we have realized that if we don't have without the cannabis, the most of the psychological and then the human like the endocannabinoid system and your mental related rehabilitation of the health is not possible. And then but that time cannabis was illegal, and we cannot handle the cannabis itself because the handling the cannabis is also illegal. And that is why we develop the cannabis-less cannabis. We take the same way how we make the vegetarian chicken or vegan cheese. We take some ingredient available, or the same ingredient that is available in the cannabis other than the cannabis source, for example pine, and for example all the herbal. Same way we make the cannabis-less cannabis, that is there is no law to handle to block us, and we did the R&D. And then today what happened, the day the cannabis become legal to Canada, from the next day we could succeed to supply them ingredients they can put into the cannabis. And we help the cannabis industry not to delay their R&D, not to delay their product development even single day, because before even they are ready to get the license and they're ready to manufacture, we have all the innovative ingredients ready for them and we offer them. And then how we can beat the bad. And then the third part you told me is that the thin year part is a different story. Thin year part is that what if tomorrow something happened? Right now what happened is California, you have the agriculture problem, but not in India. India have not in Mexico. But what if we face all the trouble at the same time in all around the world? What is the option? That time again, scientists was that, you know what, there is the alternative. The way the plant make the food from the ear, why not we can make the food from the ear? Then the soline come on the ground, and they bring the already the food from the ear, and they make the powder from the ear. That is like the egg powder, that is perfectly complete, and then even the better than the egg. And then what happened is the alternative of the agriculture, and then again come back to the soline. And the idea is that not only then what that gonna help is if tomorrow you are able to capable to go to Mars or the moon, or the even the you just for the cultivation, probably tomorrow you have some planet just for the agriculture cultivation, even the people is not there, and that opening the new avenue. And then what happened is, even though when you do in the one area, but it can be helped in the other area. And that is why the innovation matter and how it work together, it interlinked. To make the long story short, I can tell you very small way. If you go to the drilling company, one contractor do, it is exactly same thing that what the dentist do the drilling in your teeth. The difference is that they will use the metal, you will use the stainless steel. That is big, you will the smaller. They have the small measure, you have to be very accurate. That is that they don't care the how painful they are or teeth. You take care that it must be have the your brain should not be feel the pain at the same time. You want to know what is going on. That is where the analgesic come in. That is what happened is that, you know what you learn in the construction, you can be apply in the health. What you learn in the health, you can apply in the construction. What you apply in the construction and health, you can apply in the aeronautical. That is what this work is very small, and everything is applied everywhere. That is why when you work on one direction, you have to realize that it helps over the board.
So I just want to quickly also ask you, like very briefly, are there any red tapes in the food industry? If so, like what are the changes like you would like to see in the future, or change in the food industry?
Last 200 years is a very, very important year for the humanity, that we are able to develop so many things. Mm-hmm. But when you see your body, our body was adapted for the nature, to the nature from the million years. But in the 200 years, we have made very drastic mistake, that we try to make the everything synthesized. We try to put the people brain in everywhere. And then if you see today, all the food, even the drive-through food and everywhere, you are seeing all the synthetic and all the people made hand modified product into the market. What that do is that it is not compatible enough for your body. That is what happening is the red tape of what the technology we learn in the 200 years is give us the new avenue to go to the new era. Give us the more understanding of the thing, that what we can do it, and we can be the more safer, and we can be the more confident that our future will be jeopardized. But at the same time, we realize that we have to back to nature. That is why what you see in the food industry, medicinal industry, is that now that all the medicinal industry, they realize that they have to get rid of the petrochemical from their formulation, because petrochemical is one of the culprit that is damaging to all the food and the medicine, not compatible with our body. At the same time, the food, we are trying to get rid of the petrochemical, all the synthetic stuff, so that we are back to the natural, so that we can be the more near to the natural, living the same way in the lifestyle, same way the way the thing, and then most importantly, the spirituality has been introduced into the food, so that our success is not the growth, our success is not the progress, our success is the success that has the humanity in it too.
And that's great. And Bobby, thank you for being here and sharing so much knowledge to us. And on behalf of FCNCC, we thank you for your presence and taking out time today to meet and talk about your contribution and all you have done to food industry. We hope you continue doing it, and we hope we can talk again and share so much of your knowledge.
Thank you so much.